Hi, I'm Ben. I'm the founder of Upteaming, and I'm super excited to share something with you today. And that's our guided growth program. It's the first of its kind for the fastest Series A founders. So, why are we doing that? And what is it? So, what we mean by guided growth is partnering with a seasoned operator, so someone who's done everything before, as your guide for a cohort of 6 months. And what they do is they use our framework, I guess is the best way to describe it, our growth essentials framework, to help everyone, not just the founders or the CEO, to help everybody execute the things that they need to execute, the right things at the right time, so that you can grow your company really quickly and also grow careers really quickly. And that's super important for everybody who works there now if you want to retain people. So why Series A? Well, it starts off without a playbook, and it has everybody needs these processes so you start to scale and the company gets bigger. If they like them or not, put that aside. But it's the first and fastest stage of systematic growth. So what that means is it's when your company really becomes scalable or not. And it's when leaders transform, when founders in particular transform into a scalable person who can lead teams, and they do it by managing systems, not just people. But the systems can't be too bulky. And if you don't do this, or if the systems are too bulky, or if something doesn't go right, and obviously the odds aren't great, you don't make it, unfortunately. Ideas are easy, as our friend John Doerr says. Execution is everything. And you know the growth rates that investors want. And it gets harder and harder to do that as headcount grows. Most founders experience what we call death traps or growth traps at Series A. And it's because the company's going through so much change so quickly. It's also when founders lose a lot of control. And sometimes it's good control, and other times that's bad. It's also the time when companies are really get in trouble when they can't execute in time. So their people, including founders, including leaders, are left behind. You can see the graph on the right. It's a famous graph from a lecture on how to operate by Keith Rabois. And it shows the growth rate of the company and the growth rate of the people and how they slow it down. So investors are very aware of that, and they abandon founders or dilute them. The hardest part maybe is that the best leaders, they can leave for faster companies. Why would they stick around? And boards lose confidence and fire the founders, fire the CEO. So what's needed is a simple way, again, not something that's too bulky, to get those right things done at the right time. And it needs to get easier, not harder, as headcount grows. It may feel slower and slower, but the system has to help you get faster and faster. It needs to be work integrated, so it's not time off, time away. And it needs to help people grow their careers, as I said. So it retains them, because people can go work anywhere. If you grow their careers, they're going to want to work at your company. So what we do is we help everyone focus on doing those right things at the right time to achieve everything they want as a company and career-wise. So what does that mean? The first component is the monthly framework that we work with CEOs on. The second component is actually peer groups for everybody at the company, for not just founders, but for leaders, for employees. So we have product leader peer forums, marketing leader peer forums, etc. You'll be with people who are at the same level of development and experiencing some of the same challenges that you are too. So everybody at the company gets access to those. And then the coolest part, I think, is that you're partnered with a seasoned operator as your one-to-one growth guide, and you get unlimited access to that person too. They know what they're doing, they know how much access you need, and they want you to win. So this is what it looks like when it goes into a cycle. We start with the framework, and then we go to the peer groups. So it gets started pretty quickly. And the seasoned operator is always the person, the growth guide, as you could say, is the person who kind of makes it all make sense for you and helps you figure out what actionable inputs are useful to either make things go faster or stop things from breaking. And they can see stuff that you can't see because this growth guide can see the whole company. And sometimes the leaders don't have that perspective that an outsider would have, but this person's trusted. They're not on your board. They're not they're not someone who you wouldn't trust because the alternative is just trying to do everything on your own, and that's not going to work. So what ends up happening is every month we have roughly a month. You can do them faster if you want, but we have this cycle where the framework helps guide the direction of your strategy and the execution as well. And then everybody gets these peer groups to help operationalize or learn or grow their careers, and then the operator makes sense of it all. So you can see those cycles. I've just done 4 months on the right side. So in conclusion, I mean, if it's not obvious, no one can succeed alone. So you can't build this company on your own. You need employees. You need leaders. Things break if you don't. So we have a program that we put together where you get this. This is sort of the main program that I described, where it's everything I described with the operator guiding it. There's one that's self-guided, if that's where you want to start. It doesn't include the operator giving you the hand. And for some organizations, there's a multi-company. Like if you're a venture capital firm, you might have multiple companies that you want to provide with this service because you want them to scale up. So that is what I had to say and why I'm so excited. So the question remains, will you be one of the 10 who make it or one of the 10,000 who don't? So you can email us at team@upteaming.com and we can set something up to see if you're a fit for the program and for one of our seasoned operators.